Math is something that can be very scary for a lot of people. Even people who are good at math are going to struggle at some point. We have a lot of our instructors who are very engaging and interacting, making sure that there are activities and things for them to do to partner with each other in success in the math class.
What I love about Lone Star is that we are compassionate, and we show that compassion in the classroom every day with our students.
It's important that students advocate for themselves. They're so worried, especially in math often, that they're the only one that doesn't get it. We have instructors who are very willing to help, as long as students let somebody know that they need something and they have a question.
The ability to feel that care and that compassion just for being in the college setting, it's tough on students. It's tough on them to learn when they can't connect, as well as other life things that are going on outside of the college setting.
Our faculty here definitely will reach out and help them and meet those needs.
We strive for student success. You do belong here. I belong here at Lone Star College.
One more round of applause for this phenomenal math instructor. And then we're going to get our technology to switch over to the PowerPoint momentarily. Am I going to do it? Oh, look at that. I have all kinds of power. Or not. 2024, the year of flexibility, just like 3 and Josh. All right, technical support is on the way. Good morning, Lone Star College-CyFair. How are you doing? Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. I tell you, it has already started off so fantastic. I have had such a collection of micro joys in the few days that we have already had. And it really is kind of the front theme for our conversation today, which you will eventually be able to see. That how do we recognize those micro joys in our days? Because it's really easy to recognize the pain, right? That stuff surfaces with a vengeance. But what's important for us to recognize are those micro joys, those little things throughout our day. They're like, oh, somebody cared about me. Oh, somebody thought about that. And it's things like, for example, what time do you think folks showed up from OTS this morning to make sure that the computers were working for student services? 6. Did they go home? That really is the right question. Absolutely. They were here before 7 a.m. and they were working until after 10 o'clock last night. So can we give a huge round of applause to our OTS folks? The power outage. We did not plan the power flashes just to keep us on our toes and then have a full hard stop. And it was really dark in a lot of places. We had a lot of lessons learned. And so I would like to also thank our facilities team who stepped up and joined our police officers in navigating that. So thank you very much to our teachers and to our facilities folks. So we have been busy, and I wanted to take just a moment in reflection of where we've been. So as we look back, just in this last short window of time, as I was writing the November-December Falcon Report welcome, I was reminded that this was still the same semester that we had our 20th anniversary celebration. And I thought to myself, wasn't that 3 years ago? So it's all happened. So we had our 20th anniversary celebration, which has been a phenomenal opportunity for all of us to reflect on and learn about the origins of the campus and to celebrate all of the contributions over the last 2 decades that you in these seats and many people who have come before us have made to be able to become the college that we are today. In that celebration, it was a tremendous gift to me, and I know many of you appreciated that our very first president returned to campus. So we were able to have great conversations about what it was like when they were keeping the cows right here on this property for the longest time possible, right before they started construction, and just imagining that cattle were roaming where we sit currently just a few decades ago. We're not talking hundreds of years ago, this is very recent. And then for her to be able to, she said, so what do you do with 23,000 students? I'm like, well, you just try to keep up. That's what we do. And so really being able to tie together our origins and our current state and everything that's gone into the time between there has been tremendous. It is with heavy hearts that we keep in mind the family of our president who has passed. We received notification over the holiday that Dr. Audrey Levy passed away, so her family and friends and all who knew her are kept in our hearts at this time of loss. Over this window of time, we've also seen I Belong lead to so many different pieces of work that you have done, not because it was prescribed, not because it was a directive, but because there was an idea that came from you and came from the words and the ideas and the passion that you brought forward and has taken a life of its own. And it's been so wonderful to see how each of you have created what this means for you and how that story plays out in your productions, in your classrooms, in your interactions with each other. And it continues to be something that guides our work as we move forward. We are all works in process. Anybody here accomplished perfection yet? Is that something that anybody got over the holiday window? I'm still very much in that imperfection category myself. So wonderful. We continue to strive to be the best for each other and for our students. So as a reminder, there are two things that kind of set our course. One is the college goals. So I won't read back through these, but I will make sure that we continue to keep our goals in front of us because there's only 3, but they are very broad reaching and they have tremendous impact as we continue to progress in our work together. And how we will do everything that we do, and that is the tenets of I Belong that you have created in your collaboration and work and contributions together. Ultimately boiling down to ensuring that everyone feels seen, everyone feels supported, and everyone feels respected. And how we accomplish that is laid out in those 3 tenets. What that looks like takes all kinds of different shapes. I had an example shared with me recently that I thought was just fantastic because the example was provided by a contractor, not by an employee, but it benefited an employee and it was a micro-joy moment. So if you have been through CASA, who here has been through CASA to see the construction? Okay, you will notice there is a surprise new hallway in the middle of CASA because the construction comes into the middle of that open space. And so they have boxed off to be able to safely do construction without disrupting services and students as much as possible. What that means is there was very large white boxes. There still are very large white boxes. So we're trying to make it a little bit more attractive. We're trying to create opportunities for aesthetics and students to be able to write, not on the white wall, but on the special brown paper. And that requires hanging things high, right? Anybody here climbed up on a ladder, got to the top, and thought maybe this wasn't a great idea? Yes, it's usually for my gutter. So I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna die this time. I'm not real sure. So the question was asked to the contractors, hey, can we borrow your ladder for just a minute? We just need to hang this one thing. And their answer wasn't, no, we can't do that. No, we don't work for you in that way. Nope, that's not the department we're supposed to, nope, that's not in our contractual stipulations. Their answer was, we can't lend it to you, but we can do it for you. It's like, yes, that's what it's all about. How do we figure out how to support each other to the solution, even though it might mean part of that answer is no. But what can we follow that with? Or what explanation can we give? Or what context? Or what solution can we bring forward, even if the initial request might not have been the one that we wanted, right? I shared a video last semester in one of my emails that was created with kids, and it was a kid's voice narrating. And it took you through that little boy's day from getting on the bus to walking into the school to getting in line for lunch. And in the first half of the video, every example that the little child encountered, the adult was not doing anything wrong, But every part of that interaction was dismissive, was not seeing you, was creating a messaging that you're in my way, or you're irritating, or you're not behaving properly. You are a negative addition to my day. And then the second half of the video, those exact same interactions, people made different choices. And the bus driver welcomed him by name. And the teacher was excited to see him and greeted him by name. And the people in the hallway, even though they still had to line up, right? We don't get mass chaos to run through the halls of elementary schools. But they, again, engaged in a way that makes you watching it smile and maybe tear up a little bit as you go through. And so that's what I Belong does for us, is especially when we're having long days, especially when things haven't been going easily or haven't been going well, or we're tired or we're frustrated, or we just know how this person is going to respond. Take a deep breath and take a moment to remember, how can I do this in a way? How can I send this email? How can I have this conversation? How can I ask this question? How can I offer these suggestions for improvement in a way that accomplish the tenets of I Belong that we have identified? You do not need to memorize this document. This will be shared with you. But one of the things that we have recognized as we move through and we think about our origins as a campus and we think about where we are now, we have a few more people on our team today than we had 19 years ago. Just a few, right? But we do not have a different commitment to those people. We do not have a different level of obligation to make sure that people feel seen, supported, and respected. So in order to do that, what we are experiencing at this stage in our college's evolution and in our growth, what we are realizing post-COVID, what we are realizing in I Belong, is where we can create processes, where we can create information or training, we can get in front of some of the recurring experiences and proactively prevent some and effectively respond to and support in others. Without that training, without those processes, without those experiences and documented avenues to be able to follow, there's too many of us to be able to ensure that those experiences are supported, those people are supported in the best way possible. So what we have recognized, and many, many of you have had experiences in these categories, is one area. There have been student and non-student behaviors that have happened in classrooms, in hallways, in parking lots, and in the library that have created concern, that have created frustration, that have created concern for the well-being of that person. And what we realize is that this is a really important opportunity to step back from that collection of experiences, look at kind of what are our root causes and what do we have built into our processes already so that we can best identify what else might we need as we move into 2024 and beyond. So as a result, there's about 75, 81, somewhere in that range, people who have been invited to the first training, that this document will be shared with everybody afterwards, but that this document will kind of be the graphic illustration of, and those folks are going to spend some time together learning about board policy and what guidance it provides us on how to appropriately support faculty, staff, and students in these types of circumstances. Chancellor's procedures for those board policies, campus practices and processes for these types of situations. And one of the things that we realized in navigating a number of these situations is that we don't always remember the entire scope of the network of support that exists for these events. And there's a lot of shifting areas of impact, areas of need, the types of things that happen. And so this graphic gives a picture of when we have non-academic student behavior issues. Not only do we have the campus police as a tremendous resource, not only do we have Title IX resources through OGAC, We also have the behavior intervention team, or our BIT team, so we're going to talk a lot more about how that can play a proactive role. We also have significant support that comes from instruction, and we also have operations that then flow through the Chief Conduct Officer, who is our VPSS. So we're going to talk a lot about this, and this is the beginning of a conversation to make sure that those who are in positions to help you, help each other, or help the students, or help your colleagues, have the foundational information they need to then inform what additional practices do we need, what additional training might people need, how do we best make sure that folks have the support they need to continue to thrive in these complex and changing times. So when we talk about where we work, the question to ask might be, why do we need to go anywhere anyway? And so we're going to spend just a little bit of time in a moment looking at where we are, which helps answer this question. But I wanted to give you two ways to think about that answer that were real straightforward. I'll talk about the Aspen Institute in a moment. They are one of the entities that has been working nationally with community colleges to strive towards excellence for all community colleges. There's about 1,100 of us in the country. And the Aspen Institute's answer to this question is because we want to advance excellence and equity at scale. And I really like the simplicity of that approach because we're not lowering a bar anywhere, right? Our community and our country and our students need us to set a bar of expectation that positions them for excellence. And all of them need that. So to advance excellence and equity at scale, but when I think about that in our language that we use with I belong and in the ways that we interact with each other, it really boils down to how have we as a college been able to improve lives simply because they have been with us? Have I improved that person's day because of the way I chose to have my interaction? Have I improved that student's life because of the semester they were with us, because of the degree that they earned with us? So I offer these as ways to think about why we should consider going anywhere in the first place. Quick data snapshot. The reason I'm sharing this graphic, it's big, it's teeny weeny, there's a lot of stuff on it. But this is Lone Star College, and this is a document that we are now starting to whole. So I want to be very clear in saying we as Lone Star College are being very honest now about where are we in comparison to other Texas colleges. Where is our performance? Where are our student outcomes? Where are our students going? How are we doing when compared to the national picture? How are we doing when compared to Aspen Institute finalists? How are we doing when compared to Baldrige Award winners? How are we doing? Not because, right, we've been talking about data for a year and a half, not because we're in a bad space, but because it gives us the inspiration for the potential of the space that we can reach and what's possible when we work together. So you'll notice when you look at these various images of the retention rates for our full-time and part-time students, 3-year graduation rates for full-time and part-time students, disaggregating that by different demographics, not great. Right? Anybody look at that and go, that is awesome! I'm putting that on social media right now because these are the numbers that we want to celebrate. Not quite yet, right? And that is okay. Remembering back to over a year ago, if we buy the plane ticket because it was cheap and it's headed to Brazil and that is where I want to be. Some of you just came back from Brazil recently. That's fantastic. I'm totally jealous. But if we buy that cheap plane ticket and then we realize it leaves from Vegas and I am standing in Houston, it's not going to be much help, right? There is nothing wrong with where we are. We are amazing and we have transformative impact on our students' lives. What this tells us is that that can be even better. That can be even bigger. But it's not about harder. Right? So when you come back and think, I am energized, this is awesome, this is exciting, oh my gosh, she's telling me I have to do more. No. We're going to do it together. Right? We're going to lift together. We're going to think differently together. We're going to learn together because it's not about working harder. It's not about working extra hours. It's not about that. It's about thinking differently and figuring out collaboratively and doing things in ways that we may not have done before. But it's an exciting opportunity. So who's doing this with us? Is this a thing that Lone Star College-CyFair or Lone Star College as a whole is like, here's a crazy idea? No, it is a crazy idea, but we're not alone. There is national movement as we are the country that created community colleges. And that's only happened about 120 years ago. Right, so we're not very old. We're pretty much in higher education infancy. And through that process, we have learned about ourselves and we have improved as we have progressed. So we really started with this focus on access. And an access institution meant that if you were working or if you weren't able to relocate and you didn't have a college or a university near you, you didn't have access to higher education. Right? That road was a dead end. And so a tremendous number of people in this country didn't have access to higher education because they didn't physically have that proximity. The internet didn't exist yet. Right? Online classes weren't a thing. So access was our first driver. But what we realized as we then looked at our data as community colleges nationally is that, hey, we've made a huge improvement in getting people in the door, and then they had 3 or 4 levels of developmental education. And they didn't know what their pathway to completion was. And so we had all of these students who were taking classes for 2 years and still not having anything that counted for credit. Or taking classes for 2 years and they weren't halfway toward a degree. So there's a lot of work then that shifted into completion. Right? We're not just trying to get bodies in the door. That's an important part of the work that we do. But we need to then make sure that those students are successful in completing. So access and completion don't go away. They're still very much a part of the work that we do together. But we also then recognize that as we work on access and as we work on completion, there is this third component that the national dialogue is starting to look at. And it's a little scary for me, I'm not going to lie, because it's what happens after they leave us. Do they get a great job? Do they graduate with their bachelor's degree? Do they have the financial means and the personal satisfaction in the career pursuits that they follow? And my initial thought when that came up was, you've got to be kidding me. This completion thing and this access thing is hard enough, and now you want me to make sure that their life after they leave us is amazing. Also, I can't control those pieces any more than I can control the pieces before they come to us. Right? So I didn't say it was easy. I didn't say all of the answers existed. But if we position our focus as a community college striving toward being the 3.0, then we start to think differently about how could we do transfer better? How could we bring employers in for internships and co-ops more often? How can we ensure that their placement creates these opportunities? It gives us an opportunity to think differently about the work that is within our walls and is within our parameters toward those extended goals. So the Aspen Institute does a tremendous amount of work in lots of different fields and areas. The context in which you will hear about it is the Community College Excellence Programs. So this graphic gives you a way of visualizing how these pieces all fit together. And so you'll notice the success after community college is that 3.0 component that we talked about. The success in community college, where students learn and students complete, because having a credential that isn't of any value is not going to be helpful, so it's not about giving things away. Excellence continues to be a goal. Students learn and students complete also is familiar, and we've had a lot of conversation also about equitable access and success that undergirds all of that work as we progress. So this gives you a way of thinking about the direction that we're moving and how we're making that migration as part of leaders in a national dialogue about how do we do this work even better for our students and for our community. What that looks like here, and I started today talking about microjoys. There are so many of you doing such exceptional work. Inside the classroom, in your recruiting efforts for our community, outside of the classroom in support of the students, there's so many amazing things already underway. How do we normalize that? How do we take your exceptional, amazing things that you do and ensure that every single student receives that? Not the exact same thing, but that spark of joy that goes, oh, wow, they knew my name. We have a Univision scholarship recipient named Nancy, and her family was so excited to be awarded, and she's in our neighborhood, so I got to be part of the celebration of her scholarship. And I saw her after her new student orientation on Super Saturday, and she was just beaming, and she was like, hi, I don't know if you remember me. I'm like, oh, of course, Nancy, I'm so glad you're here, this is wonderful. And she was just excited because somebody remembered who she was. We're not talking about big, heavy, crazy things all the time. Knowing somebody. Even if you don't remember their name. Yes, I remember seeing you. Remind me your name again. Right? Being seen, at the most literal sense, can be a part of that. So how do we normalize amazing is really going to be a significant part of the next iteration of the work that we do together. And why do we need to do that? Because even though we have amazing, we also have struggles. We also have challenges. And we have a whole lot of people. So anytime we talk about our percentage point, we're not talking about 5 or 6 or 7 people. You all have experienced my efforts at math before, so I'm not going to try to tell you what a percentage point is. Addition is challenging enough sometimes. But when we look at our success rates, which are fantastic and you'll hear more about, it's really important to remember the way that averages work. I do know this part, is that's a whole range. So we have classes and courses and programs for all kinds of different reasons where students in those classes are experiencing all of them. 98% of them, 96% of them, 100% of them are successful, A, B, or C, in the class. There are other classes where people are working really hard and teachers care passionately and advisors are working really hard and at tutoring, everybody's doing the best that they know to do. And students are experiencing 35, 40% of the students in that class experiencing success, A, B, or C. It is not because people don't care. It is not because people are giving away grades. We have a whole continuum of what we have yet experienced and what we might still learn that might work for this next situation. So this opportunity to normalize amazing means that it is incumbent on us to share the stories of things that are working and the practices that are working. LED works really hard to make sure there's opportunities for learning together about this, because what I struggle with might be something that you do fantastic. And I want to know about that so I can try to do those things too. And that may not work, but I'm going to try somebody else's things. Right? And it's every single job. It's for me and my job. I talk to colleagues all the time. And I talk to you all the time. How do I do these things better? What do we need to do about this? Had a lot of conversations with some of the faculty leaders about graduation. We've never had 2 graduations before. So we're going to figure out together, how are we going to do that in the best way? And I want to always share our basic demographic updates with you just so that you know kind of where we are. Back to the access, it's critical that our campus continues to represent our community, and it does very well. And it continues to do so in dual credit as well, so huge shout out to our dual credit leaders who have worked tirelessly to make sure that happens. The other point, as we disaggregate data, when we talk, you saw the equity undergirding everything in our progression, right? Because if we make progress as a whole, win that average, but we don't see that experience of improvement happening equitably across various groups of students, then we have a different challenge. But what you see, in my very high-tech highlighting of numbers, I was super excited I figured out how to do that. What you see is that our improvements, your improvements, the the work that you are doing and the learning that your students are benefiting from. And when I say your students, I mean that if you're a faculty, if you're a dean, if you're a chair, if you're an advisor, if you're a recruiter, our students are benefiting from is positively impacting every demographic that we have. That's awesome. That is exceptional. So thank you for that ongoing work. That is exactly what we want to see. Have we accomplished perfection? No. We are imperfect humans working together in a very challenging realm, but we are making the right steps and moving in the right direction and benefiting all of the students that are coming to us in that work. The work we have to do is institutional, right? I mentioned the processes, the procedures. We have to figure out things at an institutional level. For example, if we say, we recognize that there's a growing mental health crisis that our students are experiencing, and then those behaviors are taking place on our campus. And I go, Laura, good luck with that. That's a real thing. Whew, you're gonna have your hands full. I have put an individual responsibility with zero institutional commitment. That's not going to work real well, right? So we have to be able to have institutional solutions to create the resources, to create the processes, to create the training and the professional development support. But then it's individual to take advantage of that. It's individual on how you do that, how you practice that in each opportunity, in each interaction. So yes, the work is institutional, but it ultimately comes down to the individual as well within that. So if you remember, the second college goal is that we are all working through contextualizing the I belong statements within ourselves, if we so choose, and within our division. So what does it mean for my division to embrace I belong? So I wanted to share mine with you, because these are three of the things, these are three of the ways that I think about framing my responsibility to you and to this campus in embracing and living in I belong as I do the work that I do in my role. So as you think about, well, what does it look like for me to embrace these? How do I contextualize these statements for myself? That's going to be specific to your work and who you interact with and where your daily engagements fall. But for me, it's important that I represent the needs of our students positively and actively at the system level. We have a new chancellor, we have a new CFO, we have a new chancellor's cabinet. There's a lot of new opportunities, and that is hard, and that is exciting, and that is a next iteration. And so it's my responsibility to make sure that I bring forward that voice, those suggestions, and actively and positively contribute to how do we get better collectively. Continuing to increase opportunities for listening. So as a reminder, we have the communication plan. There will be lots of opportunities this semester. If you have additional suggestions, I literally am all ears, because I recognize that my decision making needs to be informed by your voice and by our students' voice. And then lastly, helping to create and develop those processes that allow impact and positive improvement at scale, so that we're not having one and then a next person having the same frustration. Huge thank you to Michelle Tran, who figured out how to put Lone Star College-CyFair buildings behind these images. I do not know how that happens, but thank you. To take a moment, who here has seen the 4 agreements before? Awesome. Okay, you have now all seen Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 agreements. It's a little book. It's lovely. If you want a copy, just let me know, and I will provide you with one. I do not have any financial benefit from the sale of this book, and I'm sure we have it in our library. What it boils down to is ultimately these 4 things. I share these with you because they have been shared with me, and I have found them to be really helpful in difficult times. To give myself a moment and say, okay, am I taking this personally? Am I responding and reacting in a way because I can't believe they did this to me? And we do this because we're humans, right? So don't take it personally. Other people's actions, other people's choices, other people's tone of voice has to do with them. So the more we can emotionally allow ourselves to separate from that, the less chaos and disruption that can come into our world so that we can figure out the best way, thinking about I belong, to then make our next decisions in a situation. Being impeccable with your word. Wow, this is a thing. Think carefully, speak concretely, ask questions of folks. But remember, our words are so powerful. Whether it's talking with each other, talking with our students, talking with family members, our words are so powerful. And communication is so hard. We have multiple disciplines that study communication. And that's before we get to multilingual realities of communication and translation. So be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions. I was telling the story. I will forever have an immediate flash of my junior year in high school Catholic PE teacher, so you know she was tough, who was our calculus teacher, so I was probably crying. And somebody said something, and she was the first person in my young life to say, you know what assumptions do? To assume makes an out of you and me. And of course, because we were juniors in high school, oh, she's in math. Oh. And there go, that is forever in my brain. We do this, we assume all the time. Be very cautious, because we very often make assumptions that then don't hold up. So be very careful. Don't assume. It can be transformative. Ask questions. And I've done this even in interviews. So when you said this, did you mean X? Or how did you mean that? What did that look like? So really giving yourself an opportunity for those follow-ups. And always do your best. That will look different every single day. Some of you have experienced tremendous heartbreak. One of our colleagues was telling me about having lost her mother just over the holiday today. She's not going to be doing the same best today that she did 3 months ago. Her best today is that she's here. And she's going through her first day back. So our best is going to differ. But if we always strive to do our best, we also give ourselves a little bit of grace. And the Brene Brown part of this is assume that everybody else is doing their best too. That can be really hard. Like, surely they could do better than that. Maybe they can't today. Right? So, what will you do to normalize amazing? Thank you so much for everything you do. You really are a tremendously amazing group of people, and it continues to be my honor and privilege to work side by side with you. At this point in time, I get to hand off to our system office colleague, Melissa, to celebrate all of your amazing accomplishments.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, let me do this. Good morning. Can you hear me? No.
Hello, there it goes. Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. It's so good to be here. I'm Melissa Henshaw, Executive Director in Organizational Development, and really excited to be able to share here today some of the great accomplishments of your colleagues, maybe some of you yourself over this past year as you've completed a program through organizational development on top of everything else that you are already doing. So I love that we have some time to celebrate that today. For those of you not familiar with organizational development, something that we do, and I may call it OD for short, something that we do in OD is provide programs for all Lone Star College employees, so it spans across all campuses and for employees at all levels. And some are semester long, where others are a full year-long program. We really are grateful for those who take time to be in these programs. It's a lot of time and commitment. If you talk to any of them, I'm sure they will tell you, hopefully it was a great experience, but also some work and effort that go into that, and really demonstrating our cultural belief of choose learning. So as we go through today and recognize those who've completed the program, I will ask that you hold your applause until the end of the names for that specific program, and then we can recognize all of them with our applause as well. We're going to start today, let me see if I have a slide, yes, with our adjunct certification program, also called ACP. So this program has been part of Lone Star College for over 10 years. So it's been here quite some time. We still have a lot of folks that go through it each semester. It is a semester-long program aimed to provide skills, knowledge, and tools to help our adjuncts enhance classroom instruction. Because the program has been so successful, we've recently expanded it to a 3-tier level. So ACP 1, ACP 2, and ACP 3. So ACP 1 is a 6-hour program. It is really just kind of getting foundations in classroom and instruction and helping there. And then ACP 2 takes it up a notch and really dives a little bit more in depth, especially into the D2 specifics. And then once you've completed that, you're eligible for ACP 3, which is a much deeper dive, all online programs, but much deeper dive and really looking at the innovation in instruction and looking through the lens of really elevating that experience. The program, again, it's application-based, it's semester-long, and then we have many applicants and adjuncts that go through this program. So if you see your name here, if you are a graduate of the ACP program this past year, I ask that you stand at this time and we'll applaud and recognize you as well. Anyone in attendance today for ACP? Don't think I'm missing anyone. If I am, we do invite you, as we'll do with all of our programs, to come forward for a group photo as well. But we thank you for your commitment. If you see someone here that you know, please reach out to them, congratulate them, thank them for their commitment and what they're doing to enhance their classroom learning and classroom instruction. So next I want to move into Leadership Edge. So Leadership Edge is offered through the Leadership Development area of Organizational Development. It's one of the newer programs. It hasn't been around as long, but it's seemed to be pretty successful so far. It is designed for adjuncts and part-time employees, and it really focuses on leading from where you are in your current role. It also is cohort-based and a semester long. Those who are eligible are adjuncts who've taught one full semester in the current academic year, or part-time staff who've been with Lone Star for at least 90 days. If you hear your name called here, feel free to begin making your way forward for that group photo, and then after we finish all the names, we will recognize you with applause. So the Leadership Edge CyFair graduates this past year are Atif Abuelesh, and pardon me if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, feel free to correct me, Amina Al-Hassan, Amy Denton, and Annette Zapata. If anyone is here, feel free, and please join me in congratulating them, whether they're here or not. Thank you. And we had a great turnout for our Leadership Academy this year from CyFair. So the Leadership Academy is our longest running leadership development program at Lone Star College. It has been in the works and here part of Lone Star College in full force for over 15 years. It is a year-long program. Throughout the program, just a few of the things that the participants do as a cohort is they visit all of the campuses, hear from speakers and leadership across the college. They attend a 3-day off-site retreat and engage in a group project as well. The participants go through learning focused on relationship building, community building, and collaboration. This program is geared toward full-time exempt employees who've been with the college for at least 2 years. If you hear your name called, begin making your way to the front for a group photo as we recognize you. So the graduates from this past year's Leadership Academy, who actually just graduated in December, so recently, are David Alcozer, Martha Diaz-Moreira, Donna Ivy, Martha Patricia Monreal, William Bill Schultz, Danielle Trent, and Michael Young. Please help me congratulate them. And again, make your way for the photo. Michael, yes, we have your photo. We'll take more. Do we know where they're going? Oh, there you go. On or off stage, you get to choose. On, oh, Michelle says on. Let's go on. Thank you.
In front of the flags.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you again. Another great turnout from CyFair this past year was for our Rising Star Institute. So another leadership development program. With Rising Star Institute, it is a foundational leadership development program. So it's really there to help educate participants on the different Lone Star College cultural and operational strategies. It has grown to be one of our highest in-demand programs. So we appreciate and are grateful for those who have made it through or continue to strive and apply for this program. It is also a semester-long cohort-based program. It is really geared towards new employees who's been with the college from their first 90 days through 2 years, or for part-time employees or adjunct faculty as well. And plug here, in case you're interested, applications opened yesterday. They fill up fast, so look for that email. You should have it if you're eligible. As you hear your name called for those who completed the program over the past year, again, make your way towards the stage for a photo. So our Rising Star Institute grads are Denisha Renee Glass, Viet Nguyen, Carrie Williams, Jessica Gonzalez, Charles Anderson McNeil, Miguel Nunez, Kevin Anwunali, and Teresa Sterling. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you again. Great work. And before I turn it over quickly to Michelle to do even more awards and recognitions, I do want to add a couple more that have been recent graduates. Not sure if you were here, of Lead Faculty Institute, which is new for us. It just launched this past semester. And It is really, again, to help those with lead faculty. We developed that program because of feedback that we received. And so Monica Hernandez Valencia and Charles McNeil are also graduates of that program. So let's give them a round of applause. And then also Carrie Williams is also completed or it will be awarded the LSC Focus award for Lone Star College-CyFair. So only one award is given to each campus each year, and that will be showcased at the system-wide awards ceremony next month in February, and it's given to those who really demonstrate our cultural beliefs here at Lone Star College. So we also want to congratulate Carrie for that award as well. So again, thank you to the graduates. Thank you for your time and commitment, for all you do for the students in college, and not just doing these opportunities to personally grow, which you do, but you bring so much back to the college and what we're able to accomplish. So we really appreciate it and appreciate the support of everyone as your colleagues go through these programs. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Michelle, who has even more awards and recognition to provide. Thank you again, and happy spring.
All right, we're going to celebrate some more amazing people. If you don't know me, I'm Michelle Tran. I'm the Executive Director of Communications, Outreach, and Engagement. And let's get started. All right, Staff Excellence Awards. Part-time, we have Ricardo Bernabe. And for full-time, and again, same drill, if you could hold your applause till we read all the names and then make your way to the stage. Full-time employees, Evelyn Flores, Celia Harper. Sorry. She's my work wife, I have to. Saida Latson and Miss Danielle Trent. Thank you, All right, and Adjunct Faculty Excellence Awards. Royanne Baskin, Adjunct Spanish. Hun Pham, Adjunct Biology. Okay. David Bodicher and David Glaceman. You can make your way to the stage if you're here. Faculty Excellence Award winners, Preeti Singh, David Maslane, and Miranda Ashworth. And our Piper winner, Miranda Ashworth. So Veronica will need 2 photos. All right. And congratulations to Latina King for graduating from Leadership North Houston. Wow, that is a hot mess. Okay. And our grant recipients. We had a little technical snafu with the fonts, so when you get the email version, it'll be beautiful, I promise. Congratulations, Charles McNeil for Teacher Professional Conference Funds. Mark Thorsby for Philosophies and Humanities Conference, Amina Al-Hassan and Sabika Zahari for Office on the Go, and Melissa Wood and Rosalind Foster for Glassdoor Refrigerator for the Empowerment Center. And we also want to thank all of the committee members for all of their hard work in this process. So if any of our grant recipients are here, right. And lastly, we'd like to recognize our registered student organizations. I believe there are 87 total. I'm not going to read them all, but I'll leave them up here for just a moment so you can look at them and wow, we have so many great student organizations, and thank you for all of our faculty and staff that support these groups as well. Awesome. And so I'm going to share our second video in our I Belong series that we put out in the fall semester. After the video is complete, Dr. Wilson will come onto the stage and give her update. So I hope you enjoy this as much as we enjoyed filming it.
We have such an inclusive environment here at Lone Star College-CyFair. We have a lot of traditional but also non-traditional students. And because of those individual circumstances, we look to be as welcoming as possible.
We have to think about holistically who they are as a person and take that into account with every time we interact with them. Lone Star is the place for them because we love every student that walks through that door, and we want to give them every opportunity to improve this community.
Not just advising, but also student services is kind of almost a giant puzzle. Everyone is integral. I can reach out to anyone for help. I can reach out to Catherine, anyone in financial aid, in the testing center. So many different people who have such different knowledge bases because they are the subject experts. And we're all helping each other to be able to promote student success.
With student services, there's not really a downtime. We have classes starting all the time, and so there's not any really time for us to slow down, but we support each other. We let each other know that we're here for one another because we all keep the same goal in mind, that we're here for students. We're here to make their lives better, to make their experience better, and as long as we keep that goal in mind, we work together so cohesively to feel like we all belong.
All right. Well, that was Louise and Catherine from our area. What an excellent example of being compassionate and welcoming. Not just, we talked about students, but also with our work with each other. And I really loved what Dr. Jones talked about earlier. So if we could just, another round of applause for them. All right, well everyone, I am Dr. Wendy Wilson. I have been having the privilege of serving as your acting VPSS for the last 5 months. So grateful to be here today. Just going to share with you a few updates from our division and then some of our progress that we've been making on our goals and with you on those goals. So first, I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of some of the changes, organizational changes happening within our office. We do have a 2D model that we are implementing, have started implementing this fall with our Dean of Access, and that position is currently, we are actively recruiting for that position. And under that division, you will see admission and records and testing and assessment. Those areas are led by Latina King and Kwana Bass, who is here with us. So they do an excellent job in that area and will be joined by a dean who will provide leadership there. And then our Dean of Connection was Melissa Rawson, and you all are very familiar with her. She supports the areas of advising and counseling, which also includes our disability services, our empowerment center, and also our BIT team, which we'll be talking a little bit about, and also the Cypress Center and all the resources they provide there. So I know I've received some questions like, who do I contact now that there is this 2D model? Hopefully that's going to help you a little bit to know where do these departments exist and who do I contact. If not, know that we're always here to support you, and we'll get you to the right person, even if, you know, who do I call? We'll get you there. I know a lot of questions about enrollment appeals. Remember, enrollment appeals are going to be with the Dean of Access in that area. And then our student support help, so areas around, I need some financial help or I need some additional funding, that area is going to go through Melissa's area. All right, and then we can't think about completion without thinking about graduation, right? So as we have increased our number of students reaching that completion mark, we have hit the max at the Berry Center. Yay! Which means we get to have 2 graduations, more celebrations in the spring. So our first graduation will be on Thursday evening, May 9th, 7 p.m. So if you haven't added that to your calendar, please go ahead. Know that we will be sending it to you, but wanted to make sure you knew about that. As well as we will continue to have our Saturday morning graduation. And please note the time there, 9 a.m. It is a little bit earlier than it has been in the past, and this is just to give our colleagues at the Berry Center a little bit more time after we leave for their evening activities. So this is going to be a lot of excitement and new territory for us, but very excited to be able to have 2 graduations, which means we have more students graduating. That leads me to talk about with you some of our goals that we've been working on in the division, and one of them, increasing credentials towards completion. And so you can see here in that first slide, we have Lone Star College-CyFair have been steadily increasing the number of credentials awarded year over year. One of the things that we know has been occurring is we know dual credit has been very successful. So a piece of that has been how much of that increase is due to dual credit and how much of that increase is to our continuing and returning students completing that process. We were able to make some adjustments, and that's kind of what you're seeing in these slides, some adjustments to our dashboard, so we actually do see that. And what you'll notice there on the right are our continuing, our non-DC graduates, and then here on the other side are our dual credit graduates. We had a big bump last year in our dual credit graduates, and that really helped support that overall increase in graduation. But as we disaggregate that, we see non-DC graduates, we had a little slump in that. So part of that is what can we do? How can we support that better? And I am happy to say we were able to add, or we are adding new staff to support that in the Division of Student Success. And so one thing that's really important in this area is we've added individuals to our records area. Sarah Sabalio started just this last week. And then Tori Dow will be joining us coming up. Now, both of these individuals are going to be working in records. What does that mean? They're going to be helping receive transcripts and getting credits applied so that students know what courses to take, that's clear. And they'll also be processing graduation applications. So the quicker we can do that, the more students are ready to be prepared. The other area for that is our academic advisors. So our academic advisors keep students on the path towards graduation and make sure that they are making progress towards their goals. So we have added 2 academic advisors this year, Abida Shakat and Merrick Sorrell, who is actually a promotion for Merrick, so we'll be backfilling that advisor one. So I'm very excited. Anytime that you see an administration supporting new staff in the areas, it just really shows the support we have. So I'm just, what a great way for CyFair to really say we are committed to graduation and supporting our students through that. So I'm very thankful for that. Now, I will say I want to recognize any other new staff at this time within the Division of Student Success. So if any of these individuals or any other new staff are here, could you please stand? Yeah, you know why they're not standing? They're working. We'll give them a big applause. Okay, another one of our goals that we have been working on is increasing our communication and transparency with the campus. One of the ways that we have done that is started a monthly newsletter communication to you all. As you know, as we had a little, I got this, I think maybe in December, but we did have a font as it came through on some of your emails. You were saying, oh, those fonts weren't working as well, kind of like we're having today. Okay, we're working with OTS to make sure those fonts are working well. But I hope you all have seen this newsletter. It's a way for us to share information when activities are happening, deadlines are coming up. And if there are things that you want to see in there, we want to make sure that you have it. But it's just a way for you to engage quickly with us to see what's happening this month in student success. Another area that's very important, we'll talk even more about this throughout the semester, is the behavioral intervention team. This has been a system-wide effort with the behavioral intervention team, kind of re-envisioning what that is, refocusing with all the vice presidents of student success. We have re-envisioned that group here. We've added more individuals to that, so we have more lenses looking at these student cases, giving us feedback and thoughts on the types of interventions we should approach. For faculty, you will also notice this tile shall now be on your faculty homepage. So it's a great way for you to click, let us know if there are students of concern. Do that early, let us know so that we can wrap around those students and provide the appropriate supports they need. And then I want to mention our Pathways to Progress Committee that is led by Pam Reed and Melissa Rawson. This used to be the Advising and Counseling Committee, re-envisioned again. They've got 5 different things that they're working on. I was going to highlight a couple of those for you today. One, you should be seeing, they're trying to get some more information into the classroom. So just this idea of transparency, what resources are available. So you may start to see some posters and information showing up in your classroom. That's where students are. Then if we can have something visual for them to see and to know that we're here to support them, we want to do that as well. And another initiative they're re-energizing is our faculty mentoring. You know, we have a lot of faculty here today. If you're interested in that, please reach out to this group and they'll get you connected. They're really building that up again so that we have a really robust program in that area. Okay, and then we have also within the division been working to operationalize our I Belong tenants. And part of this for us has been that our different areas have been working to just say, how does this resonate with me whenever I think about being compassionate and welcoming, or whenever I think about being kind and honest, or what does it mean to be transparent and accountable? What you're seeing on there are some of the word clouds that have just come out of some of those thoughts that we've had. And our leadership team will then work together to come up with those tenets that we will start to see play out in the spring, and then we will start to operationalize and evaluate how we're doing with those. So just kind of a neat way to see some of that work that we've already started. And finally, we couldn't end without talking about our Student Excellence Awards. So please know that on Tuesday, April 30th, right in here, we will have the Student Excellence Awards. We hope you will join us. That will be at 6 p.m. And a great way for you to engage in that, a new way that Dan and his team have come up with, is that departments can create their own awards and then nominate students for them. So if you have an area where you're thinking, it would be great to have a student where we recognize in this area, come up with those criteria, and then they will be a part of that process. Just a great way for you to engage in that. So think about what that might be. QR code, I promise this will be in an upcoming newsletter, so if you don't see it, you will see it next week. And we hope you will join us. Again, you can always reach out to Dan the man, for more information about that. And those are my updates. I'm going to turn it over to Michelle Tran, who's going to tell you more about code. All right. It's killing me. The fonts are killing me. Okay. Again, I'm Michelle Tran. I'm the Executive Director
Director of the Office of Communications, Outreach, and Engagement. And that is our official name. I know it was a maybe at last semester's convocation, but that is now our official name, and this is the lovely crew. Look at them sparkle. They're so also amazing. You know, it's been a lot of fun integrating the teams and all this collective brain power we now have. It's like off the charts, so we're super excited about our future, and we have a lot of fun things in store for the next semester. So let me give you a quick update. We have some new team members. I know, right? At least that worked. I was so proud of that. Karen Atkins is our new part-time assistant in the LED office, and then Shane Davis, Elena Franklin, and Steve Silva are all new outreach and recruitment specialists. We're so happy to have them. I know Becca is thrilled. She's got her team together now, and they're working really hard on spring activities. Another update I wanted to share with you. We won an award. The National Council for Marketing and Public Relations gave us a gold medallion award for our I Belong Phase 1 campaign. So that was a really big deal for us. Our team worked really hard on that, and Phase 2 is already kicked off, and that part of that package is the videos that you're going to be seeing throughout the day. So. Communications, we have a new CRM. If you don't know what a CRM is, it's a customer relationship tool. Basically, we have been using Salesforce, or sort of using Salesforce. It wasn't very popular and it didn't really work well for our needs, so the system office went out, did an RFP, and Element 451 was chosen. Now, there's a committee kind of working on how the rollout of this will go. Dr. Williams, Becca, and myself are on that committee, but some of the benefits of this new CRM include we'll be able to do craft-targeted campaigns, where we'll be able to segment our audience based on their interests, what their academic goals are, and where they're located. We'll also be able to do more than just email. We're going to be able to have personalized microsites, tailored event invitations, and even some texting options. We're going to be able to build more meaningful relationships with our students. We're going to be able to track their preferences, keep track of conversations that we have with them across all those multiple channels. And the big thing, I think, that struck us when we were looking at all the because we had to review a list of all the communications that go out to our students. The number of duplicate communications, this is going to reduce that. So we're not going to be yelling at our students, sending them 20 different email reminders all from the same thing from each campus they attend. So I think that'll be really nice for our students, and that's supposed to be rolling out over the summer, so we'll keep you updated on that. But if you have a burning desire to learn more, you can always reach out to me or Becca. And our outreach team has been working really hard. They wanted me to share all of this information with you this fall. And keep in mind, they were short-staffed by 3. They managed 64 college connections visits, 37 high school visits, 60 campus tours, 9 community events, and 4 campus special events. So, yay, thank you guys for working so hard. And a special thank you to our Honors College folks and the students for helping us fill in some of those gaps when we needed assistance at some of these activities. We really appreciate that. You guys were great. This spring, we have a lot of things planned. You can see that bump in the numbers. 162 College Connections visits planned. 88 campus tours have been scheduled. 25 high school lunch visits are scheduled. 2 middle school events are in the works, 3 community events, and 9 campus special events. They're going to be busy, guys. So if you would like to work with Becca on attending some of these events, if you have a specific program you want to promote, or you just really have a desire to see what these folks are doing out in the community and be a cheerleader for our campus, please contact Becca. I know that she would love to have the support. And a few things new this spring. We have a recruitment committee. It has not kicked off yet, but it's going to advise on outreach opportunities in the community, including businesses, churches, nonprofits, and networking organizations. They'll also be helping with planning special events. And if you're interested in serving on this committee, contact Becca for that as well. Then a couple of events I need you all to save the date for. Cypress Center Open House is going to be January 30th from 4 to 7. And our LSC-CyFair Open House will be April 9th from 4 to 7. And one thing I forgot to mention that was new this spring, which is really cool, I'm super stoked about this, is we're going to be doing campus tours in Spanish every Friday. So, yay! Finally got that done. Lastly, outreach has moved. I know that we talked about all the construction happening. The outreach folks are no longer in CASA. They have moved to Tech 101 and 104B. So if you're looking for them, that's where they're at. All right, LED. Okay, so did you know that LED offers customized training? Did everybody know that? Yes? Okay, good. So LED has customized training available if you are looking into professional development for your department or division. We would love to partner with you. Please reach out to Sarah. She's super excited and willing to go the extra mile to make sure that your training opportunity is amazing and magnificent. We have extended learning classrooms, in case you all didn't know that. I did not know this. Daryl Woodruff, of all people, actually let me know this. We get a lot of requests for recording lectures in the classroom, and we've only got one videographer, Daniel, right there. So it makes it hard for us to honor requests like this. But did you know there are 87 rooms at this campus alone with the ability to record your lecture? Super easy. I looked over the how-to guide. It's going to be our new option going forward for any lecture recording requests. And if you have questions about it, you want to use it, you need to be trained on it, please contact Sabika Zara in the LED office for assistance. They would be happy to help you with that. We also have a multimedia center where you can go in and record everything from videos for your syllabus to a podcast. All that information is available online at lonestar.edu/CyFair-multimedia. It's a one-button studio, and there is actually a new lightboard option now. If you have any questions about how that works, or if you'd like to use it, you can reach out to the LED team. They would be happy to help you. And lastly, Power Day. It's an all-day conference. If you don't know, it's for faculty and staff. This year's theme is Tomorrowland, and it's going to be focusing on strengthening the relational capacity we need in this increasingly high-tech world. And you'll be seeing more information about that. I'm pretty sure Sarah's going to be sending out an email soon, kind of detailing what that day looks like. But again, it is open for faculty and staff. There are components for faculty woven into this. I know that hasn't always been the case, but it is this year, so we would love to have you participate. And lastly, if you don't know already, we're pretty much everywhere on social media. Since the fall semester, we've gained 2,300 new followers across our 4 platforms and had a 20% increase in our organic post engagement. My team and Falcon Workforce have worked their tails off on getting this growth and creating fun and engaging content on our social media that really kind of reflects like what the life is like here on this campus. So please follow us, like and share our posts, and most importantly, share your great stories with us. There's so many amazing things that happen on this campus that the community needs to know about. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You don't have to do a work request to tell me that you've got a super cool event or something really neat happening in the classroom you would like to get up on social media. You can email me for the things like that, or Veronica for things like that. This is the kind of content that we want and need to keep our site engaging, or our sites engaging. So please connect with us. You got the QR code right there. Sai's watching you, he knows. And I have one last video to share with you before Dr. Dempsey gets up to give his update. I hope you enjoy this one.
I was a president back in high school for an organization called ASA, Arab Student Association, and an MSA, Muslim Student Association. So when I came to college, I was looking for something like that for myself. So I created the organization, and I combined MSA and ASA together, so I can get a larger group of people together. To conduct meetings, you need an advisor in the room. Ms. Branch came and she saved us. She literally saved us.
To see the fellowship and the celebration among the students, to see them like smile and laugh and feel like they have friends, they have a sense of community, that's something that I'm glad to support and be here for.
Because a lot of times, where the academics, where you may be struggling with that, the thing that may get you through it is joining a club and having some sort of connection, some sort of community.
2016, I moved from my home country to America. So I had a very thick accent. I didn't know how to speak English very well, and I struggled to feel like I belonged anywhere. You know, for a whole year, I just was running around trying to find friends, trying to find someone who understood me, and I couldn't do that. You know, so I had to create that organization just so I can help people have that place for them, like a common place where they could all meet together and feel like they're in a safe spot.
I belong means to me as an instructor providing a safe learning environment and a welcoming environment for my students to be able to express themselves and discuss what we're going to be covering in the content. I believe that helps students feel like they belong when they feel like they have a voice, when they feel like they have choice within our classes, if it's more student-centered.
I try to create a family setting. The first day of class, the first thing I tell them is, hey, meet your other cousins that you've never seen before, right? I know they look different than you, different religious beliefs, different sexual identities and orientations, but this is your family, right?
A bit of kindness goes a long way. I believe in a good karma. I believe show good, show kindness to receive kindness one way or another. Be the change that is needed. There is so much hate right now in the world, right? So take that step, create that change, because this is for also future generations to come after us.
Just be what you want to be who you are, be proud of who you are. That's what makes us unique.
How about that? I was trying to think of the last time I was up here on the stage with this microphone, and the last time was the 20th celebration, and that does feel like about 3 years ago. I will be looking over my shoulder waiting for Ronnie to pop out with the duck head from time to time, but I'm here to give you your academic update for this year. New faculty starting this spring will Natalie, Carrie, Bindu, Himashu, John, Caroline, and Carl. If you're here, will you please stand up? Now remain standing. Look to your left, look to your right, look in front of you, look behind you. Your greatest support, your greatest ally are the faculty that are sitting around you that are in this audience right now. Look to them for your support, and good luck and have a great semester and wonderful start to your career. We had made a commitment to ensuring that we were going to operationalize the tenets of I Belong. We were going to put I Belong from an idea into action. And what we committed to was getting to know students' names, connecting students to the end game, and increasing relational capacity. Getting to know students' names. Hopefully you have been working on this. Hopefully it's been a practice that you've been working through. If you need some help with that, there might be a session this afternoon at 3:30 to 5 o'clock. I'm not using this stage to promote this, but by all means, attend that session. Patrick, Kiet, and Cynthia will be putting on a wonderful session to get you started on helping to learn students' names. As far as connecting students to transfer opportunities or workforce opportunities, we're going to be providing you all with some media to put in your D2L shell and even some things that we're going to post in the classroom just to let students to know what opportunities lie elsewhere, out there, beyond there. As we get started on our Community College 3.0, this will help them at least see the end line. And as far as relational capacity, how do we get students to understand who we are as instructors? We have launched the Anti-Rate My Professors campaign, or what we like to call it, Get to Know a Prof, where you create a short little video, and TLC is, LED has put together a great know-how, and hopefully the deans and chairs and everybody will be distributing that on how to create a really quick, hey, how are you doing, get to know you video where students can get to know the person behind the instruction. And that should help increase us and operationalize our I belong in instruction. Three-peats. Three-peats don't happen very often. They're very hard to do, and a three-peat, if you haven't heard of that, is when you win successive championships, year after year after year. Three-peats are also not just about individual athletes. Of course, we'd associate the run that the Bulls had in the early 90s with Michael Jordan. You even have a local, the Houston Comets had a three-peat, and then some baseball team that I won't talk about had one in the early 90s. But I want you to, did somebody woo there? Because that was a career choice. This is being recorded. It takes a village. Being able to three-peat, to be able to do something once, that's cute. Kind of like maybe my Rangers did. That might be fun. Also a career choice. To do it once is awesome, and it's a great accomplishment to celebrate. To do it twice affirms that what you did was awesome. To do it 3 times in a row just speaks to a commitment to excellence. I also want to note that that takes a village. So in athletics, that takes front office staff, it takes recruitment, it takes everyone from the hot dog vendor all the way to the ticket sales to the fans themselves that participate in that. To be able to three-peat, to do something over and over, takes a lot of us. I think when we do three-peats academically, it speaks to everybody. The people that make our classrooms and our facilities beautiful, to our tutoring supports, to our admissions, everybody. But the athletes on the field, my faculty, the three-peat, that is tremendous. And that is what you have done. You have three-peated. We set a baseline in our aspirational 85% goal. We said we're going to increase. We know we're not going to get to 85 right away. We don't go from Houston to Brazil on a single journey. We're just going to take little steps, and we're going to be proud of those steps. And you've done it 3 times in a row. Now I added, Dr. Jones showed you the 66, 70, 73 progression. That was without dual credit. I added the dual credit back in because we're all students. And the data stays the same. 74 to 78 to 80.2. When you put dual credit in the data, y'all, we're almost to 85%. To my three-peats, you all deserve a round of applause. Another line I want you to see there is at the very, very bottom, and it's kind of hard to see. That's our withdrawal rate. Accounting for dual credit, we have a 6% withdrawal rate. Our students really believe they can do this. That's amazing. Thank you, thank you. May we continue on that great work. Like Dr. Jones says, it's an institutional effort to help get us to that 85, but it takes individual efforts. Well, how do we know what our individual efforts are? Our Faculty Senate President had sent out a link of how you can get your own success data, and I will inspire us to get that sent out again. Your success data, how you're doing, and it's even comparative data, is only 1 click away. There's also a feedback form that you can fill out and let us know what you think about the data. And I mean, you can let us know what you think about the data. Are there slicers that you'd like to see, additional data? Is your data even correct? We want to know. We have exciting new people everywhere. This spring we'll be undergoing a search for the Science and Engineering Division Dean. We have faculty searches underway. I'm just going to leave that up here in perpetuity because it seems like we always have faculty searches underway. Most of all, and especially for the people at Westway Park, thank you for serving on the search committees. We know that is a tremendous effort. We know that it's a tremendous investment in time, but hiring our faculty is one of the more important things that we do, and we want to get it right, and it takes committees and time and effort. And so thank you, especially again, Westway Park is hiring and hiring and hiring and hiring. Thank you for serving on those committees. Thank you, everyone. Lastly, congratulations to Kim Hubbard for her selection on the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board Workforce Education Stakeholder. With that, I'd like to pass the mic over to Chelsea Branch to talk to us a little bit about, or we refer to you as the bridesmaid. If you attended last year, you would know.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak this morning. Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. I hope that we're all excited at the start of a brand new semester. We keep that excitement come Friday, April 12th. So on behalf of the Faculty Senate Employee Recognition of Awards Committee, right, we want you to save this date, so please add it to your calendar so you don't miss it, especially if you missed it last year. You really missed a great time. I'm co-chairing the planning committee alongside Tracy Williams, and we put together what we believe is a phenomenal committee of both faculty and staff. We know that's really important to plan another successful event. Now, for those of you that don't know the ceremony, the purpose of it holds twofold. First, to recognize all campus employees. So later in the semester, you will be receiving an email from Dory Scott, who is over our elections, and created this beautiful flyer for us, so thank you to Dory. But you'll get the opportunity to nominate one of your fantastic colleagues. We know there's a lot of great work that's going on behind the scenes, and we want that work to be celebrated, so please take the time to nominate one of your colleagues. And then secondly, for us to raise money to fund our endowments for student scholarships, we definitely want our students to be able to finish what they started in their academic journey, and those scholarship funds go to support that. Now, for those of you who attended last year, I hope you can attest to the fact that we had ourselves a great time, did we not? We had some wonderful entertainment. A special shout out to our administrators that participated. Y'all put together a really great video, although I don't think y'all were acting. I know some of y'all were some real troublemakers back in your high school days. So thank y'all so much, that was a real treat. And then we also had a drink station where you could choose a sweet rim or a spicy rim. I know many of you were a little disappointed when you realized it was just a mocktail, right? But it's an on-campus event. And then lastly, we were able to launch our silent auction online a week in advance so you can see the items that were available for you to bid on before that went live. And so we were able to raise $3,118. So that was really good and really exciting, but of course, we want to do better this year, right? We want to exceed that goal, exceed our expectations, and so we're asking you to bring a generous spirit and a generous heart to come and bid on the items that will be available this year, okay? And last but certainly not least, in keeping with the 20th anniversary celebrations that we had this past semester, we want to keep the celebration going. We want to celebrate when you became a part of the CyFair family. So this year's theme is a class reunion! Get excited! So whether you started out as a shout out to our first class, our class of 2003, our founding employees, or you joined us as a Falcon, shout out to our newest class, the class of 2024. We're going to have ourselves a great time. So please mark this in your calendars and save the date, Friday, April 12th. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. It's going to be a great time. Thank you.
The administrative team, we are working on an encore performance too. So you're either inspired or warned. Now I'd like to introduce the last presenter, the only person standing between you and lunch, Ted Louie.
Okay, great. Now I know who I am. So I'm Ted Louie. I'm the Vice President of Administrative Services. So first of all, before I start my presentation, just want to, is Sarah Lowry here? Sarah is our new full-time employee in our project management area. So for my presentation, I got good news and bad news. The good news is there is no spreadsheet in my presentation. The bad news is I'm going to give a botany lecture on plants. So we have this past year in 2023, we have a lot of challenges with our trees. And here's what happened. When you have pathogen, you have host, you have an environment, they're all bad, they die. And first of all, we have one of them, drought. You know, with the drought and the heat, it really stressed the trees. And then here's the circle of death, not the circle of life. We have disease of names that I have never heard of before. And draft notes. Gondoderma, and whatever. And then we also have fungal disease and bark beetles. And if you want to see bark beetles and other insects that get into our tree, please see Mike Tolman, our ground supervisor. He gave me a long lecture regarding them, showing me live one and dead one. And that we were spending a lot of time also with the environmental committee for them to really understand the situation. And it is a very serious situation. The end result, we lost over 100 trees. And that we're still looking at trees that have been infested by bark beetle that we have to remove before they affect other trees. We will replant them when the condition is right, which means that, we have enough water. We're watching the water level daily. It might give me a result of how much water we have in the lake every day. And then we also look at the infestation. So we will plant them back. I'm sort of a hidden tree hugger. So the good part is, that's the end of the lecture. So some of the other project going on is that we have the math center renovation above the library going on. It started on January 3rd and it will continue until January 12th. We also have the CASA expansion and renovation. It is a $1.7 million project and it should be completed by May 10th. Which is really good because for the next year's fall registration, we'll be ready for the student coming. And then on December 14th, the Board of Trustees has approved Canteen as the caterer to proceed. And they're working on the contract right now. There is no update on when the contract will be signed and when they will be starting services. So I will update you guys regarding that and talk about food. Please join us at the Cent Building.